News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Drug shooting suspect in custody in Missoula and a murder-suicide in Ravalli County. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. Skies mostly clear. Kind of some pretty cloud formations out there this morning. If you crack your eyeball open just long enough to look out to see what's going on out there. We have 39 degrees under a mostly clear sky. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by First Montana Bank, your home for free centennial checking. Unlimited cash back every time you use your debit card. One of our top stories this morning, Missoula police finally have a suspect in custody, and he appeared in court yesterday from a shooting that was reported back on Wednesday, April 12th, near some apartments on Milwaukee Way. At the time, there were reports that 3 vehicles were at the scene, as well as an individual walked up and fired a gun at one of the vehicles before escaping. It now appears the vehicles were there for a drug deal, and the shooter was there to retrieve some stolen drugs. According to Missoula Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh, the suspected shooter is 19 years of age.
Well, about 5:30 in the afternoon Sunday, Ian Fiorino, 19 years of age, and a female adult who was with him at the time were taken into custody after a tip was called in to the local FBI office in regard to their possible location in a vehicle located in the 200 block of Blaine Street.
The woman found with Fiorino in the vehicle is 23 years old. She's being held on drug charges as well as obstructing a peace officer.
Mr. Fiorino and the female, who's identified as 23-year-old Jennifer Hall, were both taken into custody. Mr. Fiorino had an outstanding warrant referenced the shooting that took place on Milwaukee Trail a few weeks ago. Ms. Hall was arrested for drug-related charges.
Bond was set at $100,000 yesterday for Fiorino on charges of attempted deliberate homicide. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Mark Handelman asked for the high bail from Substitute Justice of the Peace David Steele.
The defendant was arrested on a $50,000 warrant for attempted deliberate homicide for a meth-related shooting. The judge had previously issued that $50,000 warrant. However, we're requesting bail be set at $100,000. Reason being is defendant poses a grave danger to the community and did not turn himself in when the warrant was issued, even though he knew police were looking for him.
Bail was set at $100,000. The Ravalli County Sheriff's Office is reporting a murder-suicide that occurred east of Corvallis late Sunday night. Sheriff Steve Bolton said the initial call came in asking for deputies to check up on a Bitterroot Valley couple.
The Sheriff's Office last night responded to later last night about 10 o'clock to just a request for a welfare check, and I guess it was at that point we discovered what is very apparently a murder-suicide incident. We got investigators from both the coroners and the Sheriff's Office working on that right now.
Bolton said the identities of the couple will remain confidential until further notice out of respect for the family.
Whenever something, an incident like that happens, it touches everybody in the community to a greater or lesser degree, but it's just so tragic for the family. We're not going to really release any information on that until they've had a chance to notify all their family members and make some preparations and funeral arrangements, things like that.
All that is known at this time is that the couple was married and lived east of Corvallis. A Billings man has pleaded guilty to negligent homicide for shooting his neighbor to death in 2015. The Billings Gazette reports 64-year-old Jose Cobos struck a deal with prosecutors and pleaded guilty last week in the October 2015 death of 52-year-old Mark Kirby. Cobos says he does not remember exactly what happened, but he acknowledged mishandling his gun and killing Kirby. Prosecutors said Cobos and Kirby were in Cobos's garage early on October 10th when Kirby's wife heard a loud bang. She went across the street where she found her husband had been shot. Officers reported Cobos was highly intoxicated. Officials in northwestern Montana are investigating 2 missing persons reports. The Flathead County Sheriff's Office says 25-year-old Madeline Connolly, most recently of Prescott, Arizona, went missing while hiking in the Great Bear Wilderness south of Glacier Park. 26-year-old Corey Michael Flanagan of Spokane is missing after a stolen vehicle he was believed to have been driving crashed north of Kalispell. Connolly was in Montana visiting relatives and reportedly went for a day hike on Thursday with her dog. She's 5'5" and about 120 pounds. Flanagan was also reported missing Thursday. He's 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, with light brown shaved hair and blue eyes. Authorities say the circumstances of his disappearance are suspicious. Montana's sexual assault law had a major change Friday when a new definition of consent was signed into law by Governor Steve Bullock. State Attorney General Tim Fox has been working for about 2 years to see this change and applauded the news.
We modeled it after the U.S. Uniform Code of Military Justice. So, in essence, consent now means words or overt actions indicating a freely given agreement to have sexual intercourse or sexual contact. And that's different than the law was before. In the past, it required that there be it forcible and there be physical force.
Fox says early in his administration, a debate over sexual assault in Missoula helped to make the issue a priority for his office.
When I became Attorney General, of course, this issue was stewing over in Missoula, the dispute between the U.S. Department of Justice and the Missoula County Attorney's Office in the aftermath of the number of sexual assaults that occurred on the University of Montana campus. So I decided that our office needed to be a part of the process and try to bring some positive change.
Senate Bill 29 has another Missoula connection. The primary sponsor is Diane Sands from Missoula. A northwestern Montana man has died after his motorcycle rear-ended a minivan in a construction zone on I-90 east of Livingston. The Highway Patrol says 56-year-old Richard Hamilton of Kalispell died in the crash on Friday. Trooper Jeff Sargent said the posted speed limit was 65 and the van was not traveling much slower than that. Sargent said speed and inattentive driving were factors in the crash, and he was not wearing a helmet. Deputy Commissioner of Higher Education Kevin McCrae said several weeks ago that the legislature restored $11 million in funding to the university system, but that did not mean tuition would remain frozen.
After a decade of mostly tuition freezes in the Montana university system because of increased state funding in recent years, and Montana has been an anomaly in that regard. We've been one of only 3 states in the nation that has seen increases in state funding.
McCrae said the Board of Regents at their meeting later this month will be restructuring the methods of funding for all schools within the university system.
The goal is to try to bring better consistency and continuity. So we want to see MSU, Bozeman, and Missoula funded similarly. Then we want to see the 4 four-year regional comprehensives like Western and Northern. We want to see them funded similarly.
McCrae said the regents are attempting to move from the current disparity in funding towards parity. The Board of Regents will meet in Great Falls May 25th and 26th. Finally, U.S. Secretary of the Interior Ryan Zinke, former Montana congressman, is set to start a 4-day Utah trip to assess whether the designation of 3.2 million acres of national monuments in the state's southern Red Rock region should be scaled back or rescinded. Zinke arrived in Salt Lake City Sunday to launch the reevaluation of the new Bears Ears National Monument and the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. His visit comes after an executive order signed last month by President Trump called for a review of 27 national monuments established by several former presidents. The Bears Ears Monument is a source of ire for Utah's conservative leadership and is a top review priority. Our News Talk time now, 6:13.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Plenty of sunshine today with our high temperatures right around the 70-degree mark. We'll be in the upper 70s on Wednesday. Highs will climb into the mid-80s by Thursday with afternoon showers and thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.
All right, thanks, Brooke. Right now,